So Genshin Impact, a lot of beautiful women, a lot of strong, beautiful women in the game. So I thought I'd do a tier list of how much I hate these women because I'm such a misogynist that, you criticize a woman in one thing, which means you obviously hate all women. So I thought I'd go through and criticize all these women and talk about how much I fucking hate them. No, so it's an easy enough tier list. We have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and Nefer. So you can pretty much guess who's going there right off the bat. Fuck her. I hate her character. I don't know why Hoyo made a compulsive fucking liar. This bitch, you don't know when she's lying or telling the truth. You see in her the story in the Archon quest, her father goes into enemy territory trying to get water for his people, sends letters to the academia trying to get her in there so she can have a better life, and she calls him a liar, a terrible liar, and a fool. I have no fucking respect for her anymore. She's a terrible person, and she can go fuck herself. And this is where she'll stay the entire time. But other than that, there's one woman out of all these that only one that I can't stand. Oh, that must mean I'm a misogynist. I hate all women because I judged one poorly. So that must mean I hate all of them, right? So I tried to set it up from where their place of origin. Also, I don't know how to get rid of it, but I added an extra Sandrone. At first, I didn't see her. I was doing the Fontaine ones, and because she's from Fontaine, um, so I didn't see that there was one, because hers was a little darker. So I accidentally added an extra Sandrone. But so like we have Lumine up here, we have the Hex and Zircle members that we know of, that we've seen, and then I've kind of tried to do everything according to the judgment of the Ortrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, according to their place of residency and all that. So, and yeah, we're just gonna go through, talk about the characters, judge them based on personality, story, character, design, and yeah. So Nefer will be sitting here nicely in a Nefer tier the entire time. So Lumine, one of the MCs, um, you can choose to be here, you can choose not to be. Overall design, I do like her. I love the outfit that they get at the end of the Archon. Well, not the end of Act 8. To kind of pair with their siblings. So like hers is like a brown and all that to kind of go with Ether's, and his is white to go along with hers. Overall, I mean, what can you say? She's definitely A tier. I wouldn't put her S tier because, a lot of good moments we've had in the game, they weren't talking or anything because they just didn't let them voice them. But now we have storytelling where we actually get to hear them talk. And it's like, wow, Sarah and Zach are eating well. They are eating well. But I do love her design. I love her outfit. I love her personality. The fact that she, even if you pick her or not, how they both, one, she's the MC trying to find their brother, trying to save the world at the same time. And if you don't pick her, they're the Abyss sibling, leading the Abyss, trying to topple Celestia, using the Loom of Fate to try to um, restore Conria because it was it was just destroyed for no real good reason. If you want to punish certain people, that's fine. If you wanted to punish the sinners, that's fine. But to destroy the entire nation and curse its people, no, no. So, fuck Celestia. But she's overall a really solid character. Um, what can I say? She's the main character. Well, one of them. Next, we have Miss Nicole, the silent angel, who was an angel, still is an angel, but in order to kind of keep her power and all that, she decided to give up the one thing that angels kind of need to lead others, is her voice. So that's why she doesn't speak. She gave up the ability to speak in order to kind of keep her powers, her form. Um, And as an angel, she can't pick sides really. She has to kind of stay neutral. She can't treat any one human better than any other, which is why the whole Varka ex Nicole thing would never happen. Those people clearly don't know the story of angels. That the reason why they're the way they are now and evolved into Seelies was because an angel fell in love with someone and chose their side above the heavenly principles. So, character wise, I love her outfit. She's absolutely gorgeous. Her voice, it very much feels angelic, especially since she doesn't talk to you the way she should, that everything is in your mind. It does feel very divine. Um Overall her design, I love Nicole. The fact that she's helped us along, helped us along so many times in the story. Uh she's she's top tier. Barbeloth, the old hag. Um, Barbeloth Trismegistus, who is the master tutor superior to Mona, one of the members of the Hexen Circle. And when we saw what she looked like the first time in a, like a animation that was based pretty much just on Varka, just out of nowhere seeing her, I was more happy about that than seeing more about Varka. Because this is a character, we've seen her in the Dodeko form, we've heard her voice, we've known who she was since, Mondstadt, because again, the old hag. But finally being able to see her, she looks exactly the way I thought she would. So Hoyo did not disappoint. She's snide sometimes. She's definitely more of the serious one of the Hexen Circle. She does have her moments where she does have a terrible sense of humor, but that's part of her charm. She's old, and when you're old, you got to have some kind of humor left. Hers is just very weird. Um, Definitely put her in A tier. Again, I was so happy when I got to see her. Exactly what I thought she was gonna look like. Um, so next we have Anya, who is obviously not around anymore. She died. She was human, and even Alice was like, "Oh, we can extend your life," and she's like, "No." But Anya is the mother of Minnie Durin. She was the one who wrote the story to give Durin like a redemption almost, and that's where Minnie Durin came from. We kind of got him out of the Simulanka, which was like the storybook that she had created, and um, it's a shame we didn't actually get to see her. Um, but the fact that she was part of the Hexen Circle, the fact that she was so influential, the fact that she's basically the mother of Minnie Durin. Also, I just now noticed. Okay, I had to fix it. I just thought of some more lovely ladies that weren't on the list. So we've got the Shades, and we've got Her Majesty the Saritsa. So yeah. But Anya, Anders' daughter. Um, like I said, I really wish we could have seen more of her. We know what kind of person she was, and she just wanted Minnie Durin to have a good life, to be loved and not looked at like they were the actual Durin, who was this monstrous, destructive dragon, thanks to the abyss. And definitely gonna put her A tier. She deserves it. Alice S tier. Everything about her, her voice, her design, her character. I don't even have to discuss anything. You just know Alice is S tier every day of the week. This woman is S tier. Jean, the acting grandmaster. About high time we get rid of this acting business. No, so Jean, the acting grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius. Like, this is a woman who I love her design. I I love her personality. The fact that she's such a hard worker. She cares so much about the people of Mondstadt. The fact that her story quest is us having to give her a day off because she doesn't take one. While everyone else in Mondstadt is asleep at night, she's in her office, usually falling asleep, but finding a way to stay awake. Like, this woman works way too fucking hard. So our quest, our mission for her story quest was to give her a fucking day off because she never takes one. She never takes one. Um, and obviously she's always conflicted on whether or not she's doing her best for Mondstadt. She obviously looks up to Vanessa, who was the first Grandmaster of the Knights of Avonius, the one who founded it. And so she's constantly worrying about if she's making Vanessa proud and I'd say if Vanessa was around, she'd be like, "You're doing good, Jean. You're doing good." Um, but it you'll hear it a lot in here. A lot of these people, like pretty much every character apart from this stupid bitch, they're very caring people. They feel very real. They all have their own fucking problems. Um, she's definitely A tier. Again, the fact that her entire story quest was us giving her a day off because she just doesn't take one. She cares more about the safety and comfort of the people of Mondstadt than she does about herself. So she's finding herself getting woozy and dizzy and this and that. But she's like, nope, gotta keep working. Gotta keep working. Actually, since we're speaking of Barbara, the little sister who chose to go a very different path than her sister. Their mom is the warrior. Their dad is the more holy one. We get to meet their dad finally. Yeah, so they both went two different paths. She admires his sister, constantly looks up to her, literally because Jean is much taller than Barbara is. And just like Jean, she does have her own conflict, thinking that maybe she's not doing good enough for the church, thinking that she's letting people down. But no, just like Jean, she's perfectly fine. She's doing a great job at the church. She's the idol of Mondstadt. And whenever she gets, kind of to a place where she doesn't really know know herself, she's got her dad there. The interaction with him and Dahlia was really, really good. Very cool, very, very cool guy, very caring. Obviously dedicated to worshiping Barbados. But Barbara has her father there, who chose the same path as her. She's definitely B tier. She's for me, she's like right in between. If you take out the Nefer tier, you've got 1, 2, 1, 2. She really is right in the middle. She could be such a great character if they wrote her in more and they did more things with her. I think she could be an amazing character. Also, Chi-Chi, what the fuck are you doing up there? You should be down there in Lou. In Lou. But she has the potential. A lot of the Mondstadt women have the potential to be amazing characters. Like Amber. She could be S tier. But she's just not utilized enough. She's the first woman we meet in Mondstadt. And at first she seems a little like, oh, you're outsiders. But we quickly call her out on her bullshit. Like, oh, so you don't trust us because we're outsiders. But then we quickly gain her trust. We follow her. We take care of a hilichurl camp. She does our flying tests and gives us our license to glide and license to kill. But like her design, even now, it's really the perfect design. It's so recognizable that here we are 6 years later, and she really does have a great design. Baron Bunny is amazing. Her voice is perfect. Her personality is perfect. And it's a shame that can't put her on S tier because I really would love to. I don't know who the fuck this is. You never see this person in game. Who the fuck are they? Ah, Lisa. Ada, ada. So Lisa the librarian. She is. I love her color scheme. The purple. I love how her hat's got that little lantern hanging off of it. Very sexual, overly sexualized a lot of the time, obviously. But she is an adult, so. Oh, my cuties. Have my cuties come to help me? Yes, yes. If you want your cuties to become a fucking footstool, I will become your fucking footstool. Step on me, mommy. No. Um, but also very hardworking. Like her quests, we're going around collecting books that people have forgotten to bring back to the library, and then we have to go to a domain to track down another. It's just um, I think her design is right there, or her character is right there with Barbara. She's incredibly smart, studied at the academia, so she's incredibly smart and learned with magic and elements and this and that. Usually when we have a problem in Mondstadt when it comes to that kind of stuff, Barbara Lisa's usually the one to go to, not only because she's exceptionally learned in these things, but she's a librarian. It's like, okay, she clearly must have some book that can help us along with this. So, yeah, B tier. They could do more with her, and I really hope they do, because she really is a great character. Prune. I mean, the whole thing with her and Alice is cute, I guess. Um, that whole event with her kind of rediscovering her childhood, because for so long she's had to basically grow up and try to be an adult, that she was kind of not able to see her imaginary friend anymore, and she thought that Alice took him or made him go away, when really it was her, because she was forcing herself to grow up so fast that imagination, that childlike imagination, was disappearing. So she was the reason why her imaginary friend was disappearing. Um, but overall, I like her design, but overall she's kind of forgettable. Um, Apparently she's really good as a unit itself, but I think I've been trying to level her up, get her leveled, but I just stopped caring after a while. Um, Flea, A tier. Flea is the sweetest little fucking thing ever, and if you disagree, I don't care if she's a terrorist. I don't care. This is a girl. You listen to her voice lines. Kai is the best. Official's the best. Mona's the best. Everyone is the best. But then you get to D-Luke. He's like, oh, he must be one of those weird adults. Why does he never smile? But she is so innocent and so pure and so loving that, people go out of their way to look after her. Not because her mother is Alice and Alice could wipe out Mondstadt with just, she could fucking Thanos Mondstadt if she wanted to, but because people genuinely care. And Alice, being the great mother that great mother that she is, set up that entire Golden Apple archipelago just as a way for us to have fun, as a thank you, saying thank you for taking care of and loving my daughter. I mean, you know, just so she's always so grateful for everything. And while yes, mischievous, and she's an 8-year-old girl, what do you expect? She takes after her mother, her love of pyrotechnics and explosives. But at the end of the day, she's a sweet girl. She truly cares about everyone who takes care of her, even people like D-Luke, because I know she wouldn't want anything to happen to him either, especially because it's Kaya's brother, and Kaya's the best. So if no one else was around and she heard something about Kaya being in trouble, she would be there. And bombs in hand, ready to fucking blow shit up just to save him. She's just pure and innocent and loving, and this girl must be protected at all fucking costs. Next we have the Princess Endeavor Ertelung. Hark and rejoice, for this is truly a momentous occasion. What mein Fräulein means to say is it's a pleasure to meet you. So Amy, her real name is Amy. She grew up with the story of the Prinzessin, of the Prinzessin Fischl, and she fell in love with the story, and she started to kind of see herself as this princess to kind of escape her life, which really wasn't a bad life. Like her parents played along with it for a while, but then it's like, oh, Amy, don't you think you're a little old to be pretending? But when she got her vision, like the first thing she did was manifest Oz, who was the companion to Fischl in the storybook. So she has that style of talking. She does break character a lot, especially when Oz says something out of line, because despite that he's her familiar, he does have his own consciousness. He does have his own mind, and he will say things that she doesn't agree with or are out of place. And she's like, "No, you're not supposed to say that." I mean, so I do love her character. The her design, the black and purple Oz, and I do love the moments like with her the witch's homework where we go around chasing to find Mr. Nine, and we find out that it's a Seelie who's also able to talk. So we find that Mr. Nine is a Seelie, and when we're saying goodbye to him, Fischl actually just fully breaks character and just thanks them for, creating this amazing story that she's fallen in love with. So it's a rare moment for her. Normally she catches herself, but there she's like, no, it's fully down. I think she'd go into B tier. It's the same thing. They could do, she's such a great character. Such a fucking amazing character, and I wish they would do more with her. I really do. Really is such a fun character. And I'd like to think that she's kind of the base of what Farina was built on, because if you notice, they are very, very similar, except Farina has gone to the extreme because she had to. But they're both very much the same character. So I kind of like to see that this was almost a base. Like, okay, well, we have this character who needs to pretend. So what's their personality going to be like? And they are very much like Fischl. But great character. I really wish we could see more of them. I love the with her and Oz, sometimes the bickering, and then her with the whole when we went back to the Golden Apple Archipelago, the whole Imanok Reich thing, and that getting her alternate costume, it's perfection. Eula, the Spindrift Knight, one of the most important characters in Mondstadt, being part of the Lawrence clan. Her family, she tries to be opposite of her family. Her family was a bunch of racists and slave owners and high society, and they thought that they were better than everyone, and they eventually became like tyrants, ruling over Mondstadt with an iron fist. So Vanessa, inspired by Venti and all that, they rose up, they garnered forces, and they took out the Lawrence clan. They either drove them out of Mondstadt or took them out. Obviously not the entire clan, because, well, she's still there. There are still people in Mondstadt of the Lawrence clan, but they're more along lines of what you'd expect a Lawrence clan to be. They are still very like high society, and do you not know who we are? And then they look down on Eula because she's not like that. She doesn't want to be like that. She wants to be more than, family, you know, legacy. It's like, oh yeah, they did terrible things. That doesn't mean I have to do that. Um, she does have a thing for vengeance. Brings it up every few minutes, like, oh, vengeance will be mine. Oh, vengeance. It's like light with justice. Justice. Her design, I love the multiple blues on her, that thigh gap. Everyone loves that thigh gap. Um, and the fact that she's so graceful with a claymore. She's so graceful. She just jumps around and swings and moves like as a dancer, and that thing just woof like fucking butter. And to see someone of her stature wielding a claymore and moving with such grace, it's truly something. Truly something. Mona Magistus. I think she'd be there. Unfortunately, it seems like most of the Mondstadt girls are going to be B tier because they could do so much more with them. They just don't, which is a shame. But Mona, we meet her, and we have to, we meet her in Lille, and we kind of hang out there with a little bit with her, and we have to escort her back to Mondstadt. And that's where we find out about the old hag and diary, or that Klee has. And yeah, she doesn't have disdain for Barb. She just thinks that her master is kind of high on herself a lot of the time. Which, I mean, if you're someone like Barb, who, you kind of have the reason to be, are a member of the Hexen Circle, incredibly powerful. But she's into the hydromancy, astrology, telling future and seeing events through astrology and constellations. The fact that they portray her as very like stingy and kind of like a female Zhongli, when she does in fact have a lot of money. She does have a lot of money. Overall, like her design, I really love the design, the star patterns. Any character that has like a witchy mage type hat, top tier. Unfortunately, it's not enough to get her into S or A tier, but Rosaria. Um, I'd say C. I'd say C. She's a cool character. I mean, obviously, because she's cryo, but her stories, her personality, it kind of grates after a while. So, I do like her design. I do like her hair, that like she's got like this really short reddish hair, and it looks like it's longer because the headpiece she has on, it looks like it's her hair, but it's not. If you were to remove that, God, she's a fucking baddie, like 100%. But yeah, Sucrose definitely D tier. I do think it's hilarious that her voice goes from like this very like higher pitched, sweet, innocent to your boyfriend calls me mommy sort of voice. But she is kind of useless. They try to have her in the story, but she really doesn't do much. And that's fine, because I mean, she's right there along with whoever the fuck this is. I know who it is, people. I'm not fucking stupid. But it's one of those characters that if you were to take them out, the story wouldn't really change. It really wouldn't. You have Beto, Captain Beto. Same thing. She's up there. She's a great character. Strong. We get to see in Non-Cry just how skilled and professional and badass her and her crew are, with that event, with the sending off the ballistas and all that. Like, it is a well-oiled machine. Every person on her crew is a fucking well-oiled machine. They know what they need to do, when they need to do it, how to do it. It's just not to mention, actually, we might as well just move her here. Um yeah, her and this next person clearly have a thing. Um but as a unit, she's really good. I like the shield that she has. Her design, very when you think of it, it's like a Chinese pirate almost. She looks like a pirate, but a pirate from China. Her personality, she's strong, she's confident. She's a strong, powerful woman, very beautiful, very strong. And so we have her partner, Lady Ning Wang, one of the richest people in Liu, created just Jade Chamber, not just once, but twice. Do you know how expensive that shit is? But she watches over Liyue from the Jade Chamber. Clearly her and Beto have some kind of relationship that goes far beyond friendship, which is great. That's fine. I like watching girls scissor as much as the next guy, especially when they're as gorgeous as these two. But the fact that Ning Wang is only a 4-star just feels criminal. She's really, really good. She is a really good unit. The fact that she is that important in the story in Liyue and she's only a 4-star, it just seems criminal. And it's been said before, she really should be a 5-star. Because when you really look at early 5-star, like, how is Kaching a 5-star, but not Ningguang? It really makes no sense. But Ningguang, I don't know if they changed her voice. Like, lately, if you listen, like, whenever if she pops up, she doesn't sound the same. Apparently, it's the same voice actress. I don't know, but it just does not sound the same. Kaching, I mean, she's like D tier. I don't know if it's just a bias because Kaylee Mills, who voiced her originally, is a piece of shit human being. But we're talking about more about the character. She's got a cool design, and early on, she's a real cool character to have. Being able to kind of like teleport upwards, and then we just have better people now, especially like from Natlan. So she's become kind of useless. The story, she works hard. She has her thing against the gods, obviously, but D tier. I really don't care for her at all. She's one of those forgettable characters. If she wasn't in the game, it would have no bearing on the game. It wouldn't make a difference. The fact that they give a character who is actually really well designed, like physically designed, they gave her a stupid southern accent. Well, I'm just here to rock, y'all. That's no, just no, 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 no. Because nothing says China more like a southern accent. But like her design is great, and when she has her hair down, fuck, she's gorgeous. But her character, her she's just useless. She's useless. Hu Tao, love her. The fact that this is a girl who truly understands what it means to live because she works around death. The fact that she had to take over the Wangsheng funeral parlor at such a young age because of her father and grandfather not being there anymore. The fact that she still has such a light heart and very, she has her own humor, But again, she works around death. She's not only taking care of bodies, but she's also helping souls to the other side. So when it comes to life and understanding life and appreciating life and knowing what it means to live, this this girl truly knows. Her design is amazing. Her voice, Brianna Knickerbocker doing the voice. If they were to change her voice, I don't know what I'd do. I definitely would feel different because Brianna is Hu Tao. She has such a passion and a love for this character that I don't think, even if they were to get close, even if they got someone who sounded close to it, Brianna brings such a charm and just this energy to it that I don't think anyone can replicate. Jiangling, um, it's just fire, especially because of Guoba. Uh, our little cook, we meet her. She's in the forest trying to catch a wild boar, and um, we eventually find a boar that's been frozen for like 150 years or 200 years or something like that, along with some guy. I think his name was Olaf, or I think his name was Olaf, if I remember. But then we have to help her with this whole food competition, like we're on fucking Master Chef or some bullshit. And even if you do your worst, you still somehow win. Good job, Hoyo. But yeah, she's Guoba's companion. She showed him compassion, and she was putting food out at the shrine, and he was nom 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 nom. She just kind of kept feeding him and almost made an unofficial contract with him. Considering his leeway and all that, the nation of contracts. But she's a really good unit still, from what people say. Still very viable and like Spiral Abyss and stuff like that. Her design is great. Very small, very fast, very agile. When you play as her, I mean, you feel like you're small and fast. She moves her pole arm in such a way that it's very stylistic. It's graceful. It's quick. And I think that kind of represents her, and especially considering she has to go out and get her own ingredients and catch animals and stuff like that. You have to be small and agile, and so. But it's one of those characters I feel like they could do so much like better with her. Yao Yao, because she's friends with Chi Chi, I'm gonna give her C tier. I'm gonna give her C tier. Simply because she's very sweet. She's best friends with Chi Chi. She kind of does keep Chi Chi in line because as a zombie, Chi Chi does forget things sometimes. But Yao Yao will kind of be there to be kind of like a second conscience to her. Not to stop her from doing anything bad, but to be like, hey, Chi Chi, don't you have to do this? So she's kind of like the second conscience to Chi Chi. We see them hanging out all the time now. So I think her friendship with Chi Chi and that the fact that she does kind of act as the second conscience to her definitely puts her at C tier. She's cute. She's a cute enough design. She's got her, her little companion. The turnips and that whole thing, but I think it's more of her personality that's keeping her from being D tier. Speaking of Chi Chi, I wish they could do more with Chi Chi because as a character, she is great. She dies, gets brought back by the Adepti, becomes her own master, even though she's a zombie, which means someone else should be controlling her. But no, she's controlling herself. She gives her own orders. Even if she doesn't remember them half the time, she has to write stuff down. She's her own master. As a unit, she was really never that great. But I think I don't know. If is she better now that they gave her a buff? Because there was a bunch of characters this last update that they gave a buff to, Chi Chi being one of them. Does it actually help? I haven't done hers yet, so I don't know. But that's one thing. It's like make her viable. cryo is a great element to have, but especially for those people who like the permafreeze teams. So is she better? I don't know. But she's one of those characters that's been around so long. I wish they would do more with her than just have her pop up every once in a while. Like, she didn't even get a story quest, which is a shame because, her being out there and dying and then being raised by the Adepti, I would have loved to see that. Not because of child dying, but the moment where it happened, like, what did they do? Did they just like fucking Captain Planet that shit? Let our powers combine. It's just like beams of elemental energy into it. Like, how did it happen? But they could do so much more with her, and I wish they do. But Yelan, uh, Yelan, she's actually done a lot. She's done a lot. She's a real cool character. I love the fact that she kind of enjoys inflicting pain, especially when it comes to interrogation. She has no problem breaking your leg. Oh, speaking of breaking legs, I just noticed someone who wasn't there. All right. Let's talk about people breaking legs. And so I didn't notice that Miss Siegeween wasn't on here. So I had to go find Miss Siegeween. But yeah, Yelan, she will do whatever it takes to get her answers. She doesn't care. She has to fucking break your fingers, pull your fingernails out. She doesn't care. She will do whatever it takes to get the answers from you. And if you don't, you will be praying for death before the end. She will inflict so much pain on you. But she's a really cool character. She's great at what she does with the whole kind of stealth sort of thing that she can do. Intel, that kind of stuff. And she's popped up several times in the story. And even now she was there in Not Cry with the event that we had not too long ago. So she's an incredibly cool character. Ganyu. This is a woman who killed someone by crushing them with her thighs. I mean, I think she was in her Adepti form when she did it, but that's if you're gonna die, it's a way to go. Now, also as a unit, she's incredibly good. I still use her all the time in Spiral Abyss, because she really is a great character. Her design is amazing, the horns, but yeah, she's an Adepti. She's incredibly powerful, very strong, very powerful, and yeah, like one of the first characters. Well, one of the first ones, kind of, in Leeway we get introduced to. Her story quest is pretty good. And she's such a memorable character. Like, if you guys remember back in the day with the Oceanid, like, I would team up, I would do on a team play, and it would just be a team of Ganyus. Easiest way to beat that Oceanid back then was just Ganyu, because her charged attack is by far one of the best in the game, because it doesn't just charge, but once it hits, it like into like this thing around them, and it's so fucking good. So people were just Oceanid is just a team of Ganyus. I remember, like, I don't remember who I was, but there was 3 other Ganyus. There's just 3 Ganyus on the team. And even now, she's still when it comes to puzzles, like the balloon puzzles where they're flying around, you hit one of them, that thing spreads, and it just pops all of them. She is so fucking good. Lanyan, doesn't matter. I really don't care. Another one of those characters. She could disappear from the game. It really wouldn't make a difference. Yanfei, Pomni. Lizzie Freeman, who does the voice of Pomni, also voices Yanfei, who's half Adepti. I'm gonna put her B tier. Because I would love to see more stories with her being that legal advisor, the that lawyer, and the top legal expert in Leeway, like she claims she is. Um, her design with the whole the rabbit, and I love her design. I love her voice. I love her story. I just wish she was in there more. Cloud Retainer. Oh, she's a great character. She comes across. She tries to be like she doesn't care. She'll make all these contraptions and jerk herself off about how fucking amazing she is. But then there's her story quest, and she can be very soft and caring and motherly. Um, she does get irritated when people disrespect her in a sense of not wanting to listen to her ramble on. Um, but I love her design, given the fact also, if you look at the other Adepti, like Moon Carver and Mountain Shaper, their designs, fuck. Why, Hoyo? Why did you give them such generic NPC designs? You have Cloud Retainer, who looks amazing in her human form. And then you have Mountain Shaper and Moon Carver. They just look like generic NPCs with like a little strip of color in their hair. In the words of a great man, what were they thinking? But, you know, Cloud Retainer, she is the mentor and kind of surrogate mother to Shenhe, to Ganyu, um, and anyone else she deems worthy of being a motherly figure to. All around good person. Again, she's got her flaws, and she does like to boast a lot about her technological achievements with what she builds. When really it's like, oh, she built a big stove. Or wow, she made this thing that flies. It's like, have you been to Fontaine? They've got tech that outdoes this by like a long shot. Um, but anyway. Zibai. Zibai bye. She's an angel just like Nicole. Unit, she's really, really good. She is part of my team, my Spiral Abyss team. Columbina, Raiden Shogun, her and Zhongli. Like her and Zhongli alone. They don't care about your defense. They don't care about your shields. They're just she's incredibly good. The fact that she sacrificed herself in order to save Long Gone, which is now long gone. And Istaroth saw fit to step in and kind of freeze her at the moment of her death. Tells you everything you need to know about this character. She's an incredibly good character. Which will, I mean, Istaroth's down here, so we'll talk about Istaroth. But yeah, it's just like Nicole. Being an angel, she has to abide by the same rules. But given the fact that she kind of, again, sacrificed herself to try to protect a civilization that, quite frankly, had no right being destroyed in the first place. I think this. I think this was after. Yeah, this was definitely after, well, the Heavenly Principles. They first show up and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll live happily together," and then they start like, "They're coming after me, man. Gotta fucking do something, man." And then they start sending down celestial nails and destroying civilizations that they deem as threats. Yeah, no. I think Istaroth was kind of opposed to that from the beginning, which is why they saved Zibai. But yeah, the whole horse theme with her. Horses into vat? What the fuck's a horse? But she's an incredibly cool character. Her story quest you can still do through the event. It's a really good quest. I recommend doing it. You know, having to collect the separate portions of her segments almost, to reform her. It's really good. It's really good. Shenhe, A tier. This girl who was basically about to be sacrificed by her own father because her father was a complete scumbag. It's like, oh well, if you die, I can, I can bring her back, meaning his wife. This dude was just a complete fucking scumbag. But this chick single-handedly took out the god that was tormenting her village for so long, that her people were sacrificing children to this thing, and she just fucking destroys it. She fucking annihilates it. She's taken in by Cloud Retainer and the other Adepti. She's given the red string for her, you see tied around, and that kind of keeps her emotions and power in check. So it would be kind of like a shadow sort of thing where if she takes it off, she's just Rawr! No, she wouldn't be like that. She'd just be emotional, and she might make bad decisions. But with the string, it keeps her emotions in check. She can be more calm, more calculating. She can think things through. And while she does get angry, she hasn't really done anything to put herself into a bad position. Because even if she does get angry, she can be talked out of it. So, she cares. And the best part, she's not even an Adepti. She has the power of an Adepti, and Adepti are demigods. They are incredibly fucking strong. This chick has the power of a demigod, even though she's just pure human. The cutscene where she stops that wave from coming, it's just pure fucking cinema. Yunjin, I would give her D tier because she really is a good character. She also great character. I love the operas that they have her with. Getting to see her in the story quest, and then at Genshin in Lantern Rite with Hu Tao's story, while they're all lighting the flames, she's doing her song and dance. It was so fucking good, and I wish they would do more with her, especially with the opera part. It is so fucking good. I know a lot of people were making fun of it because of the way the Chinese opera sounds, but it is so fucking good. So fucking good. I love the design, the little puffball type things. I love the coloration of them. Very soft, very nice to look at. Like very soft pinks, soft blues. Skilled, graceful. But I really wish that they would do more with her. Like B tier is basically, I like them. I wish they would do more. All right, next we have the almighty Raiden Shogun, and the Muso no Hitotachi. A tier. Or, no, S tier. S tier. This chick. The evolution of this woman from the Raiden Shogun who locked herself away, let a puppet run everything for her, to now being open, coming out of her little plane of euthymia. She, like this is a character. She locks herself away because she can't handle losing anyone anymore. Her sister, her friends, everyone fucking dies. She was the only one left. This chick who loses everything, she can't handle it. She wants to instead preserve eternity because, well, eternity, it's everlasting. No one has to die. Nothing changes. No one gets old. I don't have to lose anyone. But because she can't handle being around, out in the real world anymore, she locks herself away in her little plane of euthymia and has the puppet shogun taking care of things. And then we come along, slap some sense into her, and we get her to come out. And we have this very nice story quest, the first part of it, where we're just taking her around Inazuma. And she's like, wow, Inazuma looks pretty much the same as when I last saw it. And it's like, yeah, because you've been seeking eternity. You haven't let anything evolve or grow. You've been so steadfast in this whole eternity thing that your people are temporarily, like, essentially in stasis. They live their lives, but they're not allowed to grow and flourish and allow evolution to happen, or the city to grow and expand and modernize. You're stuck in the past. And then the next quest with her, her second story quest, when we get to see her and her sister within the sacred sakura tree, and kind of it's growing, planting it and growing, with the ley lines. It's so good. This woman who is so fucking strong and powerful that a casual swipe from her sword was able to not only cut through an entire fucking landscape, but also slice a god in half. Orobashi, that giant snake whose bones you see all over the place. Yeah, one casual swipe, 2,000 years ago, and that gorge is still electrified. She's incredibly strong, and when you get down to it, she is a very emotional person, which is why she locked herself away in the first place. She couldn't handle it. Like, she could not handle loss, especially with her sister, who she went to with the whole, during Kanria, Makoto was not much of the warrior, but she went off without telling A, and then by the time A got there, her sister was pretty much dead. So losing her friends, that was one thing. Losing her sister. So she's deeply emotional. And probably one of the best written characters in the game. Miko. If you're looking for a definition of the word elegance, this woman is elegance personified. I've said that, and I will take that to the grave. This woman is elegance personified. Everything she does is elegant. Now, while she is a kitsune, she does like to play with her food. She's a fox. That's what foxes do. They like to play with their prey. She's very mischievous, very calculating, very she can be vengeful sometimes. But overall, she's just more mischievous than anything. What you would expect from a traditional kitsune. Very mischievous, like to play tricks. Refers to us as little ones, even though we're much older than she is. She's only 500 years old. You can tell by the tails. So she's 500. I think the main character, Ether and Lumine, are like several thousand years old. So she thinks she's older. She's not. But just when she calls us little ones, like, she's also the Raiden Shogun's familiar and best friend, which you would think, being someone's familiar, there would be a sense of responsibility or, professionalism. But no, she fucks with A just as she would with everyone else. She'll compliment A, but then she'll insult her. She'll give her a hard time because she's, the best friend. That's what best friends do. She's also the one who taught how to kind of take her consciousness and seal it away into an item. Being a yokai and all, she has had a power to do. But when it comes to being the Lady Guji, of the Grand Narukami Shrine, she takes it seriously, even though she doesn't particularly like listening to the shrine visitors and anything. But she does it because she has to. She writes her books, the Yai Publishing House. She helps the yokai after a certain amount of time, move on. We get to see that ceremony in her story quest, which is very beautiful if you haven't seen it. Very beautiful, the very touching moment. But again, this woman is just elegance personified. Kujo Sara I think B. I mean, the only thing, she's a cool character. She's strong, but really the only thing she has going for her that's any kind of a standout sort of thing is that she's a fucking Raiden Shogun simp. It's like Kujo Sara. Oh, you mean the ones who's obsessed with the Raiden Shogun? Like, there's serving the Shogun loyally, and then there's being obsessed with them. She's kind of obsessed. So, Ayaka, Kamisato Ayaka. She's definitely A tier. The quest with her, that dance, that like spontaneous dance she does for us. Oh my god, wet socks. If that's what you take out of that fucking beautiful cutscene, I think she's actually one of the first characters to actually show an interest in the Traveler, right? I'm pretty sure. Like, she basically shows, like, she is interested, like, romantically in the Traveler. I don't think any other character before her really does that. They do it more and more now. You know, we've got like Citlali, who does that shit. But I don't think anyone else had done it up to that point. I don't think so. Um, you know, the Kamisato clan, her and her brother Ayato, kind of the heads of that clan. They each have their own separate jobs. She's friends with Toma, who's kind of her maid, her bodyguard. Not to say that she's not capable, but obviously, being a high society individual, she needs to be protected. But also, I noticed cryo. I've also noticed Electro. There seems to be a running theme here. But she's a very sweet character. She's very like traditional Japanese, which I love. I love the traditions. I love the style. I love the respect that she gives. Again, the fact that she's like one of the first characters to actually show a romantic interest in the Traveler. And it doesn't matter whether it's Ether or Lumi. It doesn't really matter. She goes both ways, which is amazing. But great design, great character. Kuki Shinobu, essentially the real leader of the Arataki gang, because she's the one who has to keep the boys in line. And this is a great show of how you can have a strong, confident female who keeps the boys in line without overdoing it and making it like this fucking annoying bullshit. Because, especially Ito, he acts like a child. The dude's an Oni, right? But she has to keep him in line. It's like, boss, I really don't think that's a good idea. He's like, I'm Arataki numero uno Ito, and I think it's a great idea. Isn't that right, boys? They're like, oh, yeah, of course, boss, it's a great idea. And then she's like, okay, well, then don't blame me when it all explodes in your face. She's definitely B tier. Because I don't think there would be an Arataki gang without Kuki there. They would essentially destroy themselves. Not like fighting amongst each other, but like when they get in trouble and they get put in jail, she's the one who bails them out. So, she's strong, she's confident, she keeps the boys in line, but it's not okay, we're doing this just to emasculate men. It's just her character being compatible with the other characters, like Ito, who is very much a giant, he's just a big child. So, Kirara, Nekomata. I love her. I love her little carrier form, which is the little box, and she can scurry off up walls, and they've had her in the story. She was there with the Simulanka with us. She's just a really cool character. When you think of characters that have potential that it's kind of been shown, she's definitely there. they've they've shown her quite a bit, which I appreciate because I do love her character. I love her design. We've the fact that we ask her, it's like when we're in the desert with her in Sumeru, we ask her, it's like, well, why do you still have cat feet? Can't if you look like a human, can't you change your paws to look like human feet? And she just tells us, yeah, I could, but I don't want to. But then she says something. I think she says how the sand feels weird between her paws and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, she's a yokai. She has the power to change her paws into feet. It's just like, no, I just don't want to. I like having paws, and it probably helps getting around too. Next we have Yume Mizuki. Definitely A tier. A tier. The whole, therapist thing, the whole her story. Oh my god, her story quest is by far one of the best in the game. It's so fucking good. It is so fucking good. Her voice, the fact that she's British in real life, but you would never know because of how just beautiful her voice is as Mizuki. Um, I love her design, very traditional Japanese, although a little short up there. The skirt part. Very vibrant, like very like pastel color. She's very vibrant, but very soft pastel colors, light pinks, light blues, light purples, light greens. Um, so she's very appealing to the eyes. Her voice is very stimulating to the earlobes. Um, the fact that she's friends with Miko and they kind of have a rivalry going on. But if you haven't done her story quest, I would say do it. It is so fucking good. That final cutscene, oh my god. Like, let me see. Hang on. Like this is the like one of the final things in the cutscene, and it's so fucking gorgeous. I fucking love it. Um, but yeah, she's just a great character all around. Yoimiya. Yoimiya. She's kind of like Inazuma, Amber. Loves her fireworks. She takes care of her dad, who has like Alzheimer's. Um, she plays a lot with the kids, especially like the yokai kids that have kind of become fond of her. Um, and she's genuinely just a good person, very happy, very optimistic and positive, and especially considering what goes on in Inazuma, she's a very positive person. Her design is great. Um, don't know what else to say about her. Sanganamio Kokomi. She's B tier. I love her design. How, you know, this brilliant tactician, the leader of the on Watatsumi Island shrine, she's like a goddess to them and all that, but she's kind of has the same kind of issues like Jean, where she cares more about other people than herself, and she'll kind of work herself to the point of not being healthy, and people have to step in like, hey, Kokomi, can you like actually sleep for once? And I think when we find her, when we're on Watatsumi Island, we go to where her little space is. If I remember, she's like asleep at her desk because just like Jean, she overworks herself. And she says how, oh, I'm not feeling good, and but she is a great character. Just wants peace, but understands that in order for peace to be obtained, things have to be done, and they may not always be nice. So despite her calm, beautiful, uh, shrine personality. She understands that war is unfortunately a part of life, but she will do whatever it takes to settle a war or come to an agreement without violence. She knows that violence may happen, but she prefers not to have that have that happen. So she'll do what she can to kind of have those hands shake without anyone getting violent. And if she's able to do that, great. If she ends up fighting, it's like, okay, well, that's just some people just don't want to listen or make make peace. So you have to make them make peace. Um, Sayu, I mean, I think I have a little more respect for her now that she's part of the little Hexen Circle, which fucking adorable. Lee making her own little Hexen Circle, just like her mom, absolutely fucking adorable. Sayu, her whole thing is, I need to sleep so I can grow. That's her whole thing. She's like a fucking, what, 14, 15-year-old girl, and she's still like this big and but she's a ninja. She's incredibly stealthy. One, she's like a fucking hobbit. She can just like move around and not be seen because she's so small and no one expects her. Um, but yeah, that's her whole shtick is oh, I gotta sleep. Oh, I'm doing this when I could be taking a nap. So it's kind of forgettable. But the fact that she's again a member of the little Hexen Circle, I would have put her on D. I would have put her on D tier, but the fact that she's friends with Klee and Prune and Yao Yao and Chi Chi, yeah, she gets bumped up there. Nahida, S tier. Such a fucking tragic backstory for her, like imprisoned by the very people who she was meant to take care of. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata died and Nahida was born, they saw her and they're like, oh, well, she's not as strong or as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So they take her gnosis, use it for themselves, and imprison her for 500 years. And then we go and liberate her. And it's like, what? This woman, she's a woman. She's 500 years old. She's not a girl. But this character who was imprisoned for 500 years by the very people she was meant to rule over or protect. And the fact that she's still so kind and loving, and she's very goofy. Like, she has analogies for almost everything. Analogies, metaphors, you name it. Some of them make sense, and some of them, she talks about like diarrhea and going to the bathroom for some. And it's like, yeah. But at the end of the day, she is a god. We see that when she faces Dottore. We see that when she faces Scaramouche. Like, Scaramouche thinks that he's in control when basically Nahida puts him under a genjutsu. Like, the entire time he thinks he's fighting us when it's just him killing us or whatever over and over and over like a simulation so we can study him and gain that knowledge and intel on how to defeat him. It's she may be sweet and innocent, but at the end of the day, she is a god. Um, her story, just again, the fact that she was born, the trailer showing what, first it shows what should have happened, then what actually happened, what could have happened. Um, seeing her being taken away by the academia, by the sages, and imprisoned. And then we get her event where, it's her birthday and it's just actual happiness for her. And you have that nice little cutscene that combines aspects of both her trailer and demo. It's so fucking good. And she's our little radish, our little small bean. And she's just incredibly well written. She's loved by all. I don't think I've ever heard a person say, "Oh man, I fucking hate Nahida." Her design is great. Like I said, she's a small little radish. And in fact, every time I break open a crate or something in game and I see a radish, it's like, Nahida, what are you doing here? You know, Nod cry, bashing open a crate or a barrel and the radish falls out. It's like, Nahida, what are you doing here? Um, her music, just the music with the Aranara and the fact that she kind of bonded with a Pep, who is this very sully, fucking, you know, hateful, not really. Okay, I mean, a Pep likes to pretend like they don't care, but they do. But, you know, she went out of her way to help a dragon who, quite frankly, at the time's like, oh, all you people could die for all I care. I don't care about humans. I don't care about gods. If all of you were to disappear right now, I would just continue living my life. But she went out of her way to try to save this dragon who, you know, it's like, oh, well, I hate all of you. I fucking hate all of you. It just kind of speaks to her character. And again, she shouldn't be like that. You know, she has all the right to be hateful and spiteful after what the people did to her. But she's not. Candace, D tier. Can't stand her. She's not that great of a character. Not that great in game. Story-wise, whatever. Faruzan, same thing. That whole, oh, you young whippersnappers, bitch, you're 100 years old. There are people in the real world who are just as old as you. That whole, oh, I'm old, I'm this, and just, yo, these whippersnappers, these are, just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Layla, I guess I could give her C tier. She has a lot of potential, and I do like the whole kind of like Istaroth look that she has with the around her and stuff like that, but other than that, she's more of a, you know, she's got her Jekyll Hyde sort of thing. Not evil or anything, but when she falls asleep, the other side of her comes out. But Nilu, definitely B tier. Because they have done a lot with her. You know, she was a huge part of the Sumeru quest, the Archon quest, as kind of like the distraction, going against the law and doing the, you know, doing her dance. So she's beautiful character, and she doesn't understand things sometimes. She seems to be a little slow with instructions, but you know, it's just who she is. Kale, definitely Kale is A tier, especially with her backstory being experimented on by Torre. At the end of the Archon quest, with her kind of saying goodbye to that part of her life. You know, a portion of the goddess of flowers is no longer inside her. She's just a normal human now. She can kind of move on to her own life, being her own individual. No god remains, no Dottore, no. She can just be her. Having to deal with Elazar and all that stuff. She's really well written. And at first, when we got introduced to her, I didn't like her that much, but the more they showed her in game and the more we got to do with her, she is a great character. She's best friends with Amber. So, Dia. I mean, you know, she looks after um uh what's her face? Dunyarzad. Dunyarzad. And she kind of has the whole thing with Aru Village and stuff like that. Her design is great. I love her design. But her character, it's, you know, she's like the bodyguard for Dunyarzad and stuff like that, but nothing to write home about. Especially and also as a unit, just not that great. Dory, same thing, C tier. I used to hate her. I'm like, I thought she was absolutely annoying. But then once you see her more, the fact that Alice invested in her business, she may be annoying at times, but she's got a good heart. She does what's right when she knows it needs to be done. And as much as she loves Mora, she will make that sacrifice of gaining more and earning more in order to do good. So even if she knows it's going to lose her a lot of money, she'll pick what's right over what's going to make her money any day. So she may be annoying, but she's definitely got my respect now. Um, and again, a friend of Alice can't really be that bad. Oh, next we have the GOAT, Lady Farina. Farina de Fontaine. What else can anyone say about this character? 500 years she had to pretend to be someone she wasn't. For 500 years she had to keep it to herself because if she told anyone, it would mean the death of everyone in Fontaine. So she had to go in and day out, this life of an Archon, crying herself to sleep at night, just trying to force herself to keep going, keep going, keep going. All because of Focalor, Mirami, saying, well, you need to, you're an actress now, and you're going to pretend to be the Archon. And you're going to be waiting for this grand trial that's going to be happening. And I can't tell you when it's going to happen because I don't know when it's going to happen, but you need to hold out until then. And you will suffer. Like, this is not going to be easy. It could be 2 years. It could be 10 years. It could be 1,000 years. I don't know. However long it takes for me to set this plan into motion, you have to do your part. Because if not, it means the end of all of Fontaine. So for 500 years, she suffered alone. But now, she's no longer having to play the part of the Hydro Archon. We've seen her outside of a Fontaine just recently. She's in Fontaine, but she's doing more. She's kind of gotten back to the whole acting, directing. We saw her in Liyue with Monsieur Neuvillette. So, she's definitely getting out more, which is great. She's been in Fontaine for so long. She deserves, now that she's mortal, she's just a regular human. Don't know how much life she has left, but I'm sure it's a lot. So now that she doesn't have to be confined in Fontaine, she can go out and enjoy her life now, and just be a normal person. She's also very humble, not just personality, but with what she eats. Like, this is a chick who is basically being funded and taken care of by Neuvillette, and she's making macaroni all the time, just because of how versatile macaroni is. She's picking, like, the cheapest of the cheap. She could be eating 5-star meals. She could have Escoffier come to her house every night and make personal meals, but she prefers that humble life where, oh yeah, I just kind of eat macaroni and, it was like, bolognese one day and macaroni and cheese the other. It's just how versatile it is. And she's just a sweet person. Like, of all the humans in the game, she's by far the most human. Like, everyone else is kind of like a 1-2 note character, but her, in just one scene, she can go through every fucking emotion. She is such a good character. In fact, one of my outside cats is named Farina. I adore her character. Arlecchino, father, S tier, no questions, S tier. One of those people, especially not cry during Act 6, where she puts on the fucking ears. She not only puts on these ears, but the first fucking thing she does is think about Lynette. She thinks about one of her children. She's like, oh, this is, strange. It'll take time to get used to. I wonder if this is what it's like for Lynette. The first thing she does is think of one of her kids. Crimson Moon, descendant, which we know the Crimson Moon was Iridescent Moon, Sonnet, who fell to the abyss, which, God, that is fucking tragic, man. She was Of all three sisters, she was the most innocent and sweet. And while the other two, Arya and Canon, kind of moved on properly, Sonnet, the sweetest of them, was corrupted by the abyss. And Columbina couldn't do anything about it. She had a chance to say, oh, hey, by the way, sis, maybe don't give in to the abyss. But she knew she had to, because everything, all the events had to happen as they were supposed to. So for Columbina to not, that fucking hurts. But Arlecchino, stoic. You don't really see her lose her cool except for that one scene with Farina, where she's trying to get the truth out of Farina and she just loses it. Like, I think it really is the only time we see Arlecchino lose her cool and not talk with that calm voice that we're so used to. Because she is so fucking frustrated with Farina. It's like, you do care about Fontaine, right? Why is everyone else seeming to that they're trying to find a way to save Fontaine, and you just sit here? You're not doing anything. Of course, we know that Farina was doing something. Of course, Arlecchino didn't know that. She got her suspicions aroused when she was kind of going to assassinate, essentially, Farina. But then when she kind of was ready to strike and Farina's like on the ground, no, stop, please. It's like, wait a minute. She's supposed to be an Archon. She could kill me right now if she wanted to. Why is she on the ground begging for help? Like, something's up with this bitch. But, she's the parent that the kids in the orphanage deserve. You know, she's got her main three, the siblings, the actual siblings, you know, Linny and Lynette, Fremine, who's not actually biological, but it's part of that crew. But she cares very much for them, so much that, hey guys, I want you to fight me. Come at me like you're trying to kill me. Because guess what? I'm going to come at you like I'm trying to kill you. And she doesn't do it out of hate. She wants them to be trained because she knows she's not going to be around forever. And she wants her children to be prepared. We also see, I really love the stuff with her and the Fatui, the stuff that we've seen lately with her, Sandrone, you know, the tea parties. Oh, speaking of, I just remembered. Okay. I was talking about the Fatui and I realized there was one Fatus not there. Rosaline. So, but yeah, her interactions with Sandrone and Columbina, and how open and honest she is with us, the Traveler. She doesn't hide who she is. She doesn't pretend to be something she's not. She outright admits that we're great partners and that she looks forward to working with us again in the future when we're in Fontaine. And she does kind of give us an idea about the plan of what Cerisa is looking to do. And how she says that it's not going to affect just a single person or place, but the entire world. So she's been pretty much open with us since the beginning. There's no real sense of betrayal or anything like that with her. Because in her eyes, we're basically one of hers. You know, her children see us as, you know, a sibling. So therefore, she's essentially our parent as well. Even though we're like 1,000 times older than she is. But she's the kind of parent that everyone would ask for. You know, she had her best friend, her sister, that she was with, you know, close to, you know, Chevreuse, back when they were in the orphanage, back when it was Mother, who was a complete fucking scumbag of a woman. So, but if I was left to my own devices, I would talk about her all fucking day. She's a great character. Charlotte, she'd probably be tier. I do like her new outfit, the Detective Herlock. The Detective Herlock. No, she is a great character. The whole, you know, kind of like journalist, photographer, doing anything to get that scoop. but she doesn't like to sensationalize. She doesn't like to do the clickbaity kind of like headlines, like a TMZ sort of thing. She gives it to you straight and hard hitting actual news. Like it's because of her that we went and did that whole Vache thing and find out found out why, who was disappearing, how they were disappearing, who was behind it, because of her. So actually, we'll go with Miss Navia. Miss Navia, president of the Spina de Rosula. Uh, Memes about her crying all the time. I mean, she kind of does. But she is a strong woman. She really is. Um, it's not easy being the president of the Spina de Rosula, especially after her father, Callus, was the leader, and everyone respected him, you know, and then he dies, and then suddenly she's the president of it, she's the leader, and it's like, oh crap, how do I, how do I live up to what my father managed to do? Like, what if I fuck up? What if what if they start looking at me like I'm not worthy enough to lead? Um, but she had Malus and Silver. Rest in peace, kings. Um, she's definitely A tier. She's definitely A tier. I want to put her in S tier, but she's not quite there. She is a great character. She calls us partners. Very beautiful, very fun and bubbly. Um, but yeah, she's just not quite there. Escoffier. See, I mean, she's cool. Her voice lines when you listen to her, she kind of like goes like she's same thing. I think she's British, and she's supposed to just English, our English in the game. But for whatever reason, during her story quest, her accent constantly came out. Like there was no, quality control. Um, Seems like that's not a problem now with the last time we saw her in with the summer Fantalia, the Fontaine, the summer event. Um, but yeah, he's basically the Gordon Ramsay of Fontaine. Like it's fucking raw. Emily, yeah, she's C tier. I love her voice. She's got like one of the sweetest voices. Just just doesn't do it for me. I love her design. Very beautiful, very graceful. The things that she can do with perfumes, crazy. Um, but she's not really, you know, I think she's still pretty viable as a unit, but Sandrone, S tier. If it wasn't for Sandrone, we would have been dead 10 times over. If Sandrone and Polonia, rest in peace, King. If they weren't there, we would have died a million fucking times over. She's the only reason why Dottore didn't fucking murder every single one of us. So we owe her everything. Her story, just anything that has to do with her and Elan, and it hits you right in the feels. Like that entire quest that you're doing for the summer event, like every time they show him, you want to fucking tear up because it is so fucking good, and you can see how much she loves him. She doesn't see him as a creator; she sees him as a father. You know, and he never saw her as a creation or a robot or a marionette. He saw her as a daughter, and you can see, and when she talks about him, you can hear it. And oh my god, the moment where she's in front of his grave and talking to him fucking hurts. The when she says she says this line, and the pain in her voice, Like I can imagine the actress was like actually tearing up as she was saying it because of how emotional it is. If you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. It is so fucking good. Um, but Sandrone being one of those people who kind of like the Raiden Shogun where she's lost so much, but unlike locking herself away physically like the Raiden Shogun did, she just locked herself away emotionally. She doesn't really let herself feel things because it's like, oh, well, if I don't feel anything, I don't have to worry about losing anything. Um, but her relationship with Columbina, seeing her tea parties with fucking even the child and the captain being there, it's just she's such a great character. Um, and again, if it wasn't for her, we'd be dead 10 times over. Ettore would have fucking murdered us. Siegeween. Miss Siegeween, definitely A tier. One of the sweetest characters. And it's, because she's a Melusine, she's a doctor, she's the head nurse of the Fortress of Meripede. She just wants you to get better. So if you're saying, I'm better, and she knows you're not, she has no problem breaking your legs with a smile to make sure that you don't get up. She will do whatever it takes to make sure you are healthy. So if that means breaking your legs so you can't get up, she'll do it with a smile. But no, she's very sweet. We see this food that she was having made for us, and it was like purple meat, and it's like, no, it's not bad meat. It's actually healthy for you. It just looks that way because of this, and she's always looking out for the people of the Fortress of Meripede, always wanting to know how Monsieur Neuvillette is doing. And aesthetically, it's very pleasing, like the pastel colors, the blues, the pinks, the fact that she has a little like water blowgun type thing. It blows bubbles. She's just sweet. I love Siegeween. Miss Siegeween. Um, got Lynette. Actually, no, I think Lynette's A tier. She's like that one scene, that one part in Nod Cry where she's like poking fucking one of Sandrone's robots and it falls apart. She's like, I love Lynette. Um, her interaction with her brother and Fremine, her interactions with Arlecchino, Sandrone. I love the design of her, the whole magician look. She's a great character. And because she's part of the Fatui, under, with the House of the Hearth, you get to see her a lot, which is good because she's a great character. Shiori. I just don't find her that amazing. Oh, my name is Chiori, and I talk like this. I, I like her design. I really do like the whole like very traditional Japanese look, being from Inazuma. I just no, no. I think it's her voice that does it for me. It's like, it's like why give her that voice? They might as well just given her a southern accent. Clarand, A tier. Clarand's really cool. Um, her the people she came from, the group that she descended from, um, how skilled she is. The fact that, oh, the prisoners, if you want to be, you know, free and be seen as innocent, you can either do your sentence or you can face her in a duel. Pretty hardcore. And she happily does that shit. I love her style. Her voice, everything about her is just mm, mm. But she's definitely A tier. Cheverus. She's B tier. I mean, she's cool. I like the whole things with the like the fried food and like the snacks all the time. You see her walking around with a big old thing of, food or something. I mean, when you're running around and having to catch people the way she is, you're gonna work up an appetite. So you can understand why she's usually eating fried foods or fatty foods because she's got to keep her strength up. Um, Malvika, the Pyro Archon. Everyone calls her a Mary Sue. She's not. She's not. I mean, she sacrificed her family. She traveled. She basically died to travel 500 years in the future, leaving everyone behind. And while yes, she does seem like she has all the answers, she doesn't. She fucks up a lot. The plan that she had with Renova at the end of the Archon quest, compared to what the captain had planned, her plan was fucking stupid. Sacrificing herself when there was other options. She doesn't know everything. She's not a Mary Sue. Yeah, is she strong? She's a fucking Archon. You want her to be weak? Oh well, she's an Archon. She's a Mary Sue because she's just perfect in every way. No, she's not. She's not. She shows she's flawed all the time. But no one cares about that shit. Seat Lolly, S tier. S tier. I love Seat Lolly. She is by far one of the coolest characters, and not just because she's cryo, but she's definitely one of the coolest characters. The fact that the kind of mental connection that we have with her is still a thing. Like that was supposed to, I thought it was going to be like a one-off thing in Natland. Like, oh yeah, we can hear what she's thinking. She can hear us. It's going to get rid of, we're going to get rid of it. And no, but every time we have her around, we're able to hear what she's thinking, and she can hear us. And she's always jealous. When we were with Diridith, and it's like, oh yeah, when we grabbed her hand and this and that, she's like, you grabbed another girl's hand? And then currently with Sandrone, it's like, they've been in there for a long time. Should I go spy on them? She's such a jealous bitch, but I love her. She treats everyone like her grandkids. Auroron. She's got her drinking problems, of course, but when you're 300-400 years old, and yeah, you're gonna have a lot of issues, especially with like her teaser, where we see her with the little girl, and Granny Eatsley, I challenge you, and we just see this thing with them just day after day, this girl challenging her, and then one day it just stops. And then years later, this girl comes back and she's old. So everyone she knows and loves, she has to watch die. So, yeah, you're going to be probably a heavy alcoholic. Kind of like Venti. But Seat Lolly, I love, Seat Lolin and its Papa, her little two companions. I absolutely love them. That one animation that they had her doing in the current event where she's like, on like one of their on one of them, she's just a great fucking character. She really is. Chaska, A tier. I love her design. Her personality, her love for her sister Guichi. Rest in peace, Queen. Her gun, the fucking thing is so big she can fly on it. It's just, she's so fucking badass. And I really wish they would do more with her because she's a great character. Mulan, S tier. Hands down S tier. She's like the Amber or Yoimiya, but of like Natland. She's very, very outgoing and bubbly And she has to be. She's the tour guide essentially of Natland. You know, a guide for the people of the Springs. That's your, you know, a guide from the people of the Springs. So she shows people around Natland and all the sights and the animals and this, the flora and fauna. And quite frankly, her demo still, the music, if I'm ever feeling down, I just listen to her demo music and I just feel so much better. Just because of how upbeat it is and energetic and positive. You know, you have all this music and then it slows down. And it's so good. And then it starts up again. I'm like, oh my fucking god. It's so good. But I love her design. She's got Sharky, which is her little companion essentially that she rides on. But she's just a great character. She really is. Yon-san. It's a girl, but because she wasn't voiced for so long, I made a sound like this. Oh my god, you fucking assholes. I swear to the gods, if one more person comes over here to bother me, I'm going to shove my pole arm up their ass so far it's gonna come out of their goddamn mouth. I'd say Yon-san's B tier. She is an awesome character, and the fact that we saw her so long ago in like the teaser for all the nations. Now people are upset she's not a 5-star, but you know, it is what it is. But she was teased ages ago, and she's great personality. I love her design. Almost, I know it's a saurian skull, but it looks like she's got a Cubone skull on her head. Cubone bone. But I wish they would do more with her, just like everyone else in B tier. Shilonen. Shilonen is A tier. I mean, she's a master crafter, really. Like, who do you think built Malvika's bike? You think Malvika did that? No. No, that was Shilonen. The whole leopard, cheetah sort of thing that she's got going on. She's got the DJ thing going on for her. But most of the time, just like a cat. She likes to lounge and have a good nap. But her design is really, really amazing. So, she's definitely A tier. Varessa. I'd say B. I love her design, but just like everyone else in B tier, I wish they did more with her. You know, she's got her person that the woman that she looks up to and this and that. She's got a voracious appetite, which I appreciate. As a man who used to like eating, I can't eat nearly as much as I used to. You know, I was basically like an anime character going to, you know, CC's or a buffet and the plates would just fucking pile up. I can't do that anymore. But I appreciate it. You know, when I was working at SeaWorld, I ate a 5-pound burrito, a cookie that was about this big, and like 3-4 drinks that were this size. So, I appreciate a woman, especially a woman. All this, oh, I'll just have a salad or I'll just have the smallest thing. No. You're going out to eat, enjoy it. Like I love a girl who has a healthy appetite. But you know, I was also the fact that she can run over water like she's fucking Naruto is really cool. Oh, Columbina. S. Trilunar Goddess, by far one of the most powerful beings into that right now. Her power, I think, is between Nibelung and the Heavenly Principles. She controls time and space if she wants. She can kind of do whatever she wants. She's exceptionally powerful right now. Her character growth going from someone who doesn't really understand humans. You know, she was born and people were worshiping her and coming to her and like, oh, please, goddess, give us this, give us that. And she didn't want to be that. She just wanted to live her life. You know, she went to the Fatui thinking things would be different, but then, oh, the Saritsa wants stuff from me too. You know, even though she made friends with Rosaline and Arlecchino and Sandrone, she didn't want to stay in the Fatui just for them. So she kind of goes off on her own. Now she finally knows who she is. She has her own name that she chose in the form of Columbina Hyposelenia. She's the Trilune goddess. She has all these friends and people who love and care for her. She understands what it means to sacrifice now. She understands loss. She understands what it means to. She's still getting there, but she has more of a grasp of being human than she did before. You know, whereas if like someone died, if she was in the Fatui, it would be like awkward and she wouldn't really know what to say. But now she's able to give comforting words that are like, thank you, Columbina. Even Arlecchino points out how much she's changed and how much she's grown as a person. Um, so, but I love Columbina. She is Yehoda. Casual racism from Yehoda. She calls Anefa a clanker with a hard R. Speaking of that, you know, I know what you're thinking. John, did you forget someone? I did. And I know also what you're thinking again. Did you add her? Yes, I did. I know exactly what you're thinking. But no, Yehoda, who grew up, she was part of a gang, turned her life around, um, started working at the Curatorium of Secrets with Nefer, who can go fuck herself. Um, Clearly has an obsession with Ashru, which great. I mean, Ashru's the best boy, so someone has to pay attention to him. But yeah, she's just the casual racism towards Anefa, the hard R at the end of Clanker. Um, Even though she does have some prejudice, she still does what's right. Um, you know, she's one of those people that talk a big game, but then when push comes to shove, she kind of, oh geez, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, in the fight with Rerir, or at least the first time when we have the Wild Hunt appearing, um, yeah, she like talks the big game, but then she's just kind of standing there, not doing much of anything. And I think she was the one who was just kind of tasked with protecting Columbina. But you know, at the end of the day, if she has to, I mean, she does what's right, despite the casual racism and prejudice and all that. But that just makes me love her more. We're Yehoda's witnesses. Lauma, drama Lauma. You know what? No, she's S tier. I love Lauma. Her design, her voice, the fact that she's the moon chanter. She's very proactive in not just Hisi Island, but all of Nod Cry. Very close friends with Columbina now. So considering Columbina kind of resides on Hisi Island, she's got someone there to kind of go to and talk to and look after her. And she, the fact that she talks with her little animal friends, and she just wants the peace. You know, she just wants peace between everyone. The fact that she has silver blood is fucking badass. So, Nefa, S tier. At first, I was a little hesitant with Anefa, but then going through the story, seeing her past, seeing that her core was actually part of like one of the Dragon Lords, and seeing that moment where she just without fucking hesitation pulls her core out and crushes it, thus basically killing herself. But in that moment, it allowed her electrovision to kind of emerge, and it reformed her core, which kind of brought her back. There's that. There's the moment with Nod Cry with the cannon, where this cannon is the size of a fucking skyscraper, and she's just like, she's fucking lifting that thing up. very strong, very powerful. She's got a dry sense of humor because she's a fucking robot, which is hilarious. She cheats, but overall, also I like how her arm turns into a fucking vacuum. But she's a great character. I love her design. Um, her little assistant, her little companion, but she's just really strong, really badass. And that moment in her quest where data overload, and you see her memories, and she kind of they show her falling backwards or falling down, and you see the environments around her just changing. It's so fucking good. But yeah, Anefa, great fucking character. uh no, actually, you know what? No, I know is definitely A tier. She's very prominent in the story, not Cry. She's the one who created Inefa. She's the one who created that fucking cannon that fires off the Kuvaki. Um, Incredibly brilliant, despite the fact that she's like what, 8 years old. But she also has her sweet problem. She loves her sweets, crumcakes and all that. Um, she also apparently steals snacks from other children. There's at the end of Act 8 where the kid wants a picture with Anefa, and she's like, "Oh well, considering I'm the one who, created her, you want a picture of me, right?" He's like, "Yeah, no, but you took you stole my snacks though." And she's like, "Oops." It's like, how did that go down? Did she know she was stealing someone's snacks? How did that whole encounter happen? But she's very prominent in the story, and I like that. Skirkadirk. Skirk. S tier. Technically a descender because she's not from Tevat, but she doesn't see herself as a descender. Um Backstory, her, tragic backstory, like, her planet's destroyed essentially. She gets taken in by Sertologi, one of the sinners of Conria. And in order to make her stronger, he just has these very unorthodox methods of training. And it's like, yeah, I am going to kill you. You won't know when, you don't know how, but just know that one day I will emerge and I will kill you. Whether he actually meant it, it's just like, okay, well, I need to train. I need to get stronger. Because I think that's what he wants. He just wants a strong disciple to kind of carry out his stuff. Because that's what Sertologi values, strength. So if he's training someone, he doesn't want them to be like, Master, I need your help. So he taught her from a very young age. Like she was a little girl when she she was summoned there. But yeah, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. One day. You won't know when, you won't know how, you don't. So if you don't want to die, you need to train and make sure that when that day comes, you are strong enough to defeat me. And the other part of that is, I think Sertologi, in a way, kind of wants. It's kind of like a Toguro thing, where he wanted Yusuke to kill him. He wanted to be taken out by someone that was stronger, because he had been so used to being the strongest that no one overpowered him. So he wanted his life to be taken by someone who was stronger. And I think Sertologi is the same way. That if he gets taken out or if he dies, he wants to die at the hands of someone who he knows raised their strength to the maximum potential in order to do it. So it's not only training her, but I think he does eventually want to be, after a long cursed life. Linnea, I mean, I like the fact that she's a fae. Her interacting with her sister, It was great interaction. Her sister's really cool too, but the fact that we got to see a Fae apart from Flynn's, up till that point, I think Flynn's was the only Fae that we really encountered. So to see other Fae and their sort of lifestyle, as opposed to like a Fae like Flynn's, her story quest was really good though. Like I said, with her and her sister, the whole Pokemon thing that we had to fucking do was, but her little companion, it's cute enough. But yeah, if she wasn't in the game, it's like, it really wouldn't change. So technically, Rhine-daughter Naberius. I mean, I think it's obvious where all the shades are gonna be. Naberius, who is the shade of life. Not much to say about her. Her heart was consumed by Rhine-daughter, and now the two are one. So that kind of makes Rhine-daughter the new shade of life. But Rhine-daughter, Gold, mother of Albedo, Durin, like big dragon Durin, Rift Hounds, Bakanawa, who's that big giant creature we have to fight in the Mare Javari. A few other things. Another dragon. Yeah, they're all her creations. And she's pretty much indifferent. She's kind of like the Doctor, but like she's not inherently evil. She makes bad, or not terrible, like bad choices, but she pushes the envelope with when it comes to discovering life and how to create it. And she knows that without experimenting and sacrifices, she can't fully unlock the secrets of life. So yes, there are going to be fortunately human experiments. People are going to die, and that unfortunately is it's like the real life with science. Sometimes people die in pursuit of results. Human testing. We have human testing in the real world. You go to these groups like, oh yeah, we're going to be injecting you with this concoction. Here, sign this. So we do that all the time. So what she's doing isn't really that off to what happens in the real world. But she's a great character. One of the sinners of Conria. And I can't wait for her to actually show up in the game. It is going to be amazing. Renova, S tier. From the first time we saw her in Natlan as just her giant eyes to the cutscene, the Gaze of the Gods cutscene that was dropped on like a random Wednesday night. Being the shade of death. She made a contract with Xbalanque, who was the first Pyro Archon. But then kind of demands a sacrifice or someone to give up their life in return to kind of keep this contract going. She's very loyal to the Heavenly Principles. Unlike, say, Naberius or the other three, she's more loyal to the Heavenly Principles than the others. But, she wants to stick to the rules that were set. She doesn't like to go outside of those rules. We see that she doesn't want to go back on her own rules of like the Curse of Immortality when it came to her and the captain. But she's it's death. When you're the ruler of death, things just are a little different than ruling over another force. But her design is amazing. Like all the shades look amazing. Her voice, just she sounds so innocent a lot of the time with how she speaks. It's like when Istaroth was like Renova, do you know that you're being watched? And she's like, by whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far? And just the way she says it, it sounds so innocent. Despite the fact that she's like Beerus, she can raise her hand and wipe an entire place out. She's just, there's this innocence about her. But great design. I love the red. The fact that she's basically the statue of the omnipresent god. You know, she's been there pretty much the whole time, but we didn't finally get to meet her essentially until Natlan. Istaroth, S tier. We've known about her since the beginning. We've always known that there was a connection between her and Venti. We now know that Venti was granted a portion of her power, which is why he can control time to some extent. She was also there to save Zabai, to kind of free Zabai in that moment of time before she died. So she really does go more against the heavenly principles. She does care about the creations on Earth, or in Tevat, the humans. None of them really seem like they feel good with the celestial nails being cast down, which is why, again, she saves Zabai at the moment of her death. But we've known about her since the beginning. To finally see her, she looks amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. Erica, who also does the voice of Venti, is also doing the voice of Istaroth. She's connected to so many characters. And I've said before, I don't want any of the shades playable. They are just too strong. I don't want them playable at all. But yeah, Istaroth, Shade of Time, and seems to go against a little bit what the heavenly principles say. To a degree, they don't want to step out of line too much and get punished. But Asmodee, who's also S tier, Asmodee is completely opposite of them. She went fully against the heavenly principles now. She's apparently not, she's not serving us, but apparently she's with our twin. So she's partnered up, apparently, with the Abyss sibling. Asmodee hasn't been seen for a while, at least by her sisters. The last time we first see her in the beginning of the game when she separates us, and then we actually see her again in A Time and Space for You when we're chatting with our sibling. We see her portal open up, kind of like behind a some mountain, some rocks. So she's kind of like, but yeah, we haven't actually seen her since. And I think she's stopped serving the heavenly principles, and she's serving humanity now. That's the new master. Even though it's probably also, I mean, you could also see the Abyss twins serving humanity as well. The whole point is to topple Celestia. Because what Celestia's fall is good for humanity. So Asmodee is serving humanity now. She's probably tired of seeing people die, civilizations wiped out because her master is so fucking paranoid and afraid of certain places rising and growing and flourishing. We know that in the Temple of Space, we know that we were there for a little while. But yeah, I really wish we knew what drove her to the point of, serving humanity. Was like, I want to know what the exact breaking point was. Was it Conria? Because they really haven't seen her in 500 years. Was it Conria? Was that like the last straw of this? If you're going to punish civilization, punish the ones responsible. So she should have punished, the heavenly principles should have just punished, Rhyndotter, Rerir, Eroptatir, Sertologi, Vinfulnir, them. They should have been punished, but no, women, children who had nothing to do were, wiped out or cursed to turn into fucking hilly churls and other monsters. She probably saw that. It was like, okay, this is too much. This is fucking too much. Um, but she's a great character. I can't wait to see her again. La Signora Rosaline, definitely A tier. Definitely A tier. I love Rosaline. Her fucking cockiness, that pompous attitude that she has. But that's only a front. Then when we see her with Sandrone and Columbina, she's just like anyone else. She's very kind and relaxed and loves tea and desserts and same thing, backstory for her. She, Mondstadt, originally from Mondstadt. She had someone that she was in love with and he died. The whole Crimson Witch thing, that's her. She's the Crimson Witch. So she became like this Phoenix type, Crimson Witch being after taking something. And here she is. Well, not around anymore. Because, she thought she could contend with the power of the almighty Raiden Shogun and the Muso no Hitotachi. And, she just got one-shotted. Just one-shotted. 8th of the Fatui Harbingers brought down by a casual swipe. So, people thought she was strong because, oh, she overpowered Venti. No, we learned from Venti that he let his gnosis get taken away. He wanted it to be taken away. One, because he doesn't really want to be connected to Celestia anymore. And two, if they take his gnosis, that means no casualties or collateral damage for Mondstadt. So it wasn't the fact that he was that she was stronger than him. He let her overpower him. Like Venti, people need to remember, Venti is incredibly powerful. He's one of the original, apart from Zhongli, he's the only original Archon from the Archon Wars, or the only one who survived from the Archon Wars. He's incredibly powerful. He would not be so easily taken down by Signora. He let himself. But because of that, this whole ego that she gains from this crap, she thought that she could take on the Raiden Shogun. Well, she found out real fast. She played a game of fuck around and find out. She wanted to play stupid games. She won stupid prizes. Now, is it possible for her to come back? We do have her items. Like, we have her, essentially. So it's possible. Considering she's also kind of compared to a phoenix, where she will, she'll rise again. I hope so. I mean, she's a cool character. Hopefully she'll be a little more wiser for the wear next time, and she won't just be, running headstrong into a situation without thinking of it the first, before it happens. Next finally we have Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. And even though we know nothing about her right now, I can tell you she's already going to be a S tier character. The fact that she's trying to gain all the, obtain all the Gnosis to take down Celestia, even if you don't know anything about her, that alone, I totally dig that. Celestia needs to be taken down. The Heavenly Principles are a fucking nuisance. Now, of course, she has her own reasons, and it might be, oh, well, because the person I love was taken by the Heavenly Principles. But what she's doing, it's like Arlecchino said, it's not going to affect a single person or place, but the entire world. Imagine a world not having to live in fear of the Heavenly Principles. Not having to live in fear of, oh no, we better not grow too much because they might send a fucking celestial nail down. So, for whatever reason she's doing it, the toppling of Celestia is crucial. She's trying to do it. Our sibling is trying to do it. No one likes Celestia. They came in, the Heavenly Principles came in, acted like they owned the place, took down Nibelung, took down the Dragon Sovereign, stole their power, started casting celestial nails after some time on civilizations they deemed a threat. No, no, no. But she also looks exactly the way I thought she would. I knew that they were obviously going to go for like an Ice Queen sort of thing. But she didn't disappoint. Her voice is amazing, and I can't wait to learn more about her. But just the Celestia toppling alone makes her S tier. Like, you have Focalor, who gave a big middle finger to Celestia, to have the Heavenly Principles by destroying the Hydro throne, right? This chick doesn't want to just destroy one throne. She wants to destroy all of them, and she wants to take down Celestia, to take down the Heavenly Principles. So it's like Focalor, but like times 20. And I'm there for it. And hopefully when we're leading the charge, we've finally gone to Celestia to take out the Heavenly Principles. She's leading the charge. Just that image of her standing in front of this massive army of Archons and Vision users and Adepti and the fucking Dragon Sovereigns, Nouvelette's there, and that would be such a badass fucking moment. But we'll see. But yeah, that was my tier list, and we have Sandrone, who we already had. But after 2 hours, it's finally done. And as you can see, no one else made Nefer tier. Because fuck Nefer. Seriously, just fuck her. And not the good kind. Not the way I wanted to fuck her the first time I saw her. No, once I saw what kind of person she was, no, just fuck her. Just get her out. I very rarely hate characters like this. And during that quest, I got her. And as soon as I was able to, I went onto the outside and I just took her around to all the highest places I could think of. And I just fucking dropped her. I just had her drop to her death. And then I put her into the box, and that was it. And that was it. But everyone else, even these people are more redeemable. Like, seriously, no fucking clue who this is. But, yeah, that's my tier list. Obviously, other people might agree. Some people might disagree. Let me hear what everyone else thinks. It just shows there's so many fucking characters. And every single one of them, apart from this stupid bitch, they're all incredibly well written. They're strong. They're confident. But they know that they can ask for help. They're not there to, we're there to emasculate men. They are incredibly well written, which is why they're so loved. So Western game developers need to look at character development and character stories like them and learn from it. Because how many women is this? And apart from one, every single one are still well written and loved. Well, it's a different degree of story and stuff like that, but none of it's actually bad. Some obviously I care less for than others, but they're all strong women. Any one of these women could kick your ass in a fucking fight. And that's perfectly fine. But this is how female characters should be written. From the, like the Jean types who, care so much about their place, their home, that they don't take a day off, that we have to force them to take a day off, to someone like the Raiden Shogun, who was such a broken character that she couldn't handle losing anyone anymore, so she locked herself away. to, you know, like Fischl, whose entire personality is based around a character that she loved so much as a child that as soon as she got her vision, she manifested her own familiar. So regardless, it's to Klee, to Aino, to, you know, Columbina, they're all amazing characters. Um, so, oh, what do I know? I'm just a misogynist, right? I just fucking hate women. Well, he put Nefer down here and says he hates her, so that must mean he hates all women. Yes. If that's truly what you think, then you, sir or madam, are fucking retarded. If that is your takeaway, that because I said one bad, you know, I said bad things about one character, when you have all these, you think that this makes me a misogynist, you're fucking retarded. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.